so an Amazon Prime account actually gets me access to even more TV shows for free. Hey, I wonder what other type of shows you can get from this thing. Just love opening up cans of worms, don't I? Remember back when I thought I was stepping out of my element and reviewing Hannah Montana because I believed old farts like me had no business criticizing what was made for today's kids? Well, I didn't know when to leave good enough alone because last year I just had to dare to review Johnny Test and then SpongeBob SquarePants, which means now it's pretty much open season for these programs. So what does that mean for me in terms of stuff I pretty much have to review now? It can be summed up in one badly punned word. iCarly. Now, to be honest, I always felt like Nickelodeon was more suited for live-action programming even more than Disney, mainly because I grew up on the likes of Salute Your Shorts and The Adventures of Pete and Pete. So Nick going and making tween coms in the last 10 years is not completely surprising to me, but you just think they wouldn't be quite so blatant about it. I can't prove that iCarly was a shameless, desperate attempt to piggyback the success of Hannah Montana? Well, other than series creator Dan Schneider admitting his original vision for the show was about a small-town girl making it big in show business, which means he must have really been pissed at Disney 2 years later, which drove him to create another copycat the year after that. And people think internet reviewers are shameless in copying one another. Let's just get started on this Nick knockoff and maybe we'll get to the rest later. So the pilot opens by introducing Carly Shay, played by I'm totally 13, I just mature very quickly, Miranda Cosgrove.
So, I understand you put some flyers up all over the school.
Why would you photo dock my head onto the body of a rhinoceros?
Rhinoceros? Oh, no. She made you a hippopotamus.
And sadly, he's still only the second creepiest principal on a tween com, behind the one from Even Stevens.
Freddie, were you just looking out your peephole waiting for me to come home?
No!
I thought we talked about this.
I am over it, seriously. I'm in love with you, you just want to be friends, and I'm totally cool living with that constant pain.
Kid, no one likes being friend-zoned, but eventually you gotta be able to take a hint. We also see that Carly is officially being looked after by her older brother Spencer because her father took the Donald Duck route and shipped out with the Navy.
Dislocated my shoulder again. One sec.
That's kids shows today. If they can't take the Peanuts route and leave the parents off screen inexplicably, they just turn them into deadbeats. So long story short on this one, Carly and her friend Sam have to record the latest talent show auditions and then post them online, but Freddie is kind of a dumbass and instead posts the blooper reel of the girls making fun of everyone.
We made fun of Miss Briggs and her crazy pointy boobs! See the view count? Only 27 people have clicked on it. Sam? Yeah? That's 27,000!
At your request, this video will be removed.
Finally!
Tomorrow morning.
Freddie!
Geez, don't you know anything? Just add in one 5-second clip of anything owned by Universal or Viacom, and that video will be down in seconds!
Remember all that stuff those kids wrote about us on the message boards? Yeah? Things like, you guys should upload more videos, and when's your next show, and we want more?
Give it 6 months, girl. You'll never want to read those comments again. And that's the basis of the whole series. Carly and Sam running their own web show that includes such creative and talented sketches such as...
I'm Carly.
I'm Sam.
And we like to draw families on our toes.
Observe.
Suddenly, the inspiration for breadwinners makes a lot more sense.
Hey, I'm the sweet brunette.
And I'm the dirty blonde.
And this be iCarly!
It's powering Freddy's camera.
And the two computers that bring you iCarly.
And all the lights.
Especially our new environmentally green strobe lights!
iCarly for kids who need Ritalin.
Mix it with Lubert! Well, last weekend, my brother Spencer built us a fake soda machine.
And yesterday, we put it in the hallway outside Carly's apartment.
Put this soda machine here without my permission! Okay, seriously, what the goddamn hell is up with Nickelodeon's obsession with bratty kids harassing cranky adults? Personally, it's kind of unfair to assume all of us old single guys have that attitude towards kids. The Girl Scouts are at the door again! Get the boiling oil ready! And somehow, within the time of the pilot and the second episode, Carly goes from being the hottest thing on the web to being desperate for more viewers. That drives them to try and get a positive review from this other online persona named Neville. Imagine if you combined Mark Zuckerberg with Draco Malfoy, the young Anakin Skywalker, and the kid who spends all his free time on 4chan, and then make it 50 times creepier than what you're already envisioning.
I created and now run one of the world's most visited websites, which gets over 5 million page views per day. I'm not cute.
Yeah, you are. I can tell because I want to mess up your hair. Who's cute? Who's a cute Neville? Who gets 5 million page views? You do!
Mother?
And simply because Carly won't date him, he writes a scathing review of her show to try and ruin her. And Carly gets him to retract it by telling on him to his mother. Congrats, Carly, you're Nickelodeon's version of Derek Savage. And it's because of this that Neville makes it his life's mission to get her whole show and website shut down. It's like if Ace Salieri declared war on PewDiePie. Actually, no, that would be a lot more entertaining. At least the second episode with Neville made somewhat more sense. He hacks into and takes over Carly's site, which you know is kind of a felony, and after Freddy's attempt to hack him right back outright fails... Really, Freddy, stop taking advice from Veronica Mars! Carly gets the smart idea and actually calls the cops on him! Or better yet, the freaking military!
Your computer hacking is a direct violation of the Internet Security Act of 1983.
Wait! They're taking my equipment. They can't do that.
Oh, yes, they can.
By now you've likely noticed another big plot element of the series. Neville isn't the only one attracted to Carly, as she's basically portrayed as this major boy magnet. This was criticized by a number of viewers who thought Miranda Cosgrove wasn't that much more attractive than Jeanette McCurdy here. However, I'm actually going to say this makes sense, because Carly is more of a charismatic personality that the boys would draw to, while Sam, well...
You're sorry. I'm sorry. And what are you sorry for? For saying you're aggressive.
Yeah, there's no nice way to put this. Sam is freaking scary. She's like if you mixed Lucy Van Pelt with Ronda Rousey. What's worse is that she's a total delinquent, and the reason Carly got punished in the pilot was because she actually took the fall for something Sam did because she's got a rap sheet that she would have possibly been expelled.
You know, anybody but me would punch you right in the head.
Which is why you are my best friend.
Good to know. Now, why are you mine?
I wish I didn't have to steal a line from Mr. Enter, but pointing out your problems does not make them go away!
What's the problem now?
Sam tried to give Gibby a wedgie.
Yeah, and this happened.
And they were new!
Oh, they try to do some episodes to make Sam somewhat more sympathetic. Like one episode where she thinks she has to look more girly to get this one boy she likes to notice her.
I want guys like Pete to think of me as just lovable. Not the person to call when there's a riot or they want to tip a truck over.
Gee, kind of like that episode where Hannah tried to make Lily out to be more girly. Well, I'm sure it's not just some blatant ripoff of that show.
I feel like a daffodil.
Eventually, this gets Carly's show a chance to get put on actual television, and naturally there's a whole bunch of jokes about it getting meddled with by network executives. Yeah, that was probably a lot funnier back before Nick gave Fred his own show. Of course, I have to mention the episode when that whiny, high-pitched dork of an internet producer actually got on an episode of this show. And it basically shows him as a petulant, whiny dork complaining about how Freddy doesn't like his show, and this turns all of Fred's fans into a lynch mob against Carly's show. Man, let's just hope Freddy never goes after Anita Sarkeesian.
You did all this for publicity?
Totally.
Just to make your Fred videos more popular?
Not just the Fred videos, iCarly too. Web traffic to iCarly.com is higher than it's ever been. People love a good fight.
There's also this time where Carly has to fight this martial arts kickboxer, yet for some reason the show was really obsessed with MMA around the second season. And a Jay and Silent Bob story where they find out their show is being ripped off by people at Dingo Studios.
I know. I'll wear a wig, and that way, Devin will never know it's me.
What?
You know the guy who started it like 60 years ago?
Charles Dingo?
Yeah. I heard that when he died of some rare disease, they froze his head and they've kept it in a special freezer to this day.
You are not going there! Yeah, why didn't they just title this episode F You Disney? Okay, that wouldn't have worked because every episode's title had to start with a bad I pun. But still! Do Dan Schneider and Jeffrey Katzenberger go to the same bar and just think of ways to take pot shots at the mouse-eared regime? And that's pretty much it for the next 6 years. Or at least the first 3, because that's all my Prime account offers me to watch. Your standard tween-com shenanigans centered around a really, really lame attempt at an online variety show. The show clearly lasted up to Carly's graduation, but I don't have time to track down that episode. The first 3 seasons were pain enough to get through. To sum it all up, iCarly is lame. I mean, maybe it just comes off as really dated now, since the quality of web content has really expanded in even the few years like this, but it just kind of comes off as pandering to what people think little kids like about the internet, while trying to disguise itself so it doesn't look like it's trying to copycat Disney. I guess it was different enough to the point where the show actually got some popularity higher than Hannah Montana, so some props to them for that. But looking at it now, it's pretty clear this might have been the starting point toward Nick's really bad obsession with pandering, which saw its shows just get worse and worse in the eyes of a lot of my fans who actually have seen those shows. Will I get to those one day? You know, I really need to pace myself on these things, so you're just gonna have to be patient with me on that. It's just so ironic that Nick would be taking these kind of potshots at Disney because Disney would never blatantly pander to the lowest common denominator like this network would. Would they?